Welcome back. So to start off my channel, I wanted to talk about one area in particular that you do see online, but I don't think you see it often, or it may be a little bit niche, and it actually has to do with travel perks and benefits for veterans and or those currently still in the military as well. And one of the reasons why I wanted to start off with this topic in particular is because I do have a lot of friends that are still in the military that I met throughout the years, in while in the military, and also these are some of the benefits and perks that I've used as well to save money, time, and also just to enhance the travel experience a little bit, especially if for those who have been in or are still in, that sometimes, especially if you're going to a place or a training where it's just not a very good location, and in the middle of nowhere, nothing to do. So at least maybe knowing about these things, it can be a nice retreat, before all that or after the fact. But also this can also enhance your leisure travel as well, not just the travel that you do with the military. And it can save you, it could save you hundreds of dollars, on just one trip as well. And it'd be something, especially if you have a family, it could be really helpful. The list that I have is not an exhaustive list. It's going to be relatively small list, but I think I'm going to cover probably the main four topics uh, that that will probably help you out the most. So let's get started. So the first topic that I'm going to get into is just a really easy one. If you always see that extra line at the airport that says TSA Precheck, just remember that if you're in the military, whether active, reserve, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the branch. You can use your DoD ID number as your known traveler number when you're checking in either at the airport or online on your app for the airline ticket, and this will automatically add the TSA PreCheck logo onto your boarding pass. This is a huge benefit, I think, that to have, because it can save you hours, going through security. So when you see that extra line that's really long, just like with everybody having to take off their shoes and all that, at least know that you can go through the TSA PreCheck line if you have it when you're checking in. One thing to remember is that if you're at the airport and you don't know how to do this, it's easy to do, but you can ask a staff member while you're checking in that, hey, you want to get TSA pre-check, that you're in the military and all that, and someone will help you. And a lot of times you have to tell them this, because even if you show them that you're in the military, and let's say they put your information in the system, they a lot of times they don't know that you can get TSA pre-check, or sometimes they just forget. Or in my experiences, sometimes it's both. They actually they sometimes do know, they do remember, but they just don't care. So you have to know these things, and let them know. Um, the This actually leads me to my second benefit with when it comes to airport experience, is you do get, even um, for leisure travel, you actually get free check-in bags and free carry-on. And this is actually, even on airlines that are ultra low cost carriers such as Spirit or Frontier, where they charge you for every single thing. And but in this case, you being in the military will get those fees waived. This can save you hundreds of dollars, whether you're on leisure or official orders. So I'm just using United as an example, because since I've gone on United many times. For it, what I usually see in most cases is you get one free check-in bag, and I mean one carry-on, and then two check-in bags for free. But in United's case, I didn't know this, but if you're traveling on orders, with on leave, and you're flying on United, you actually get access to the United Club, which is a very nice lounge. So something to keep in mind. I've never used this before, so and I don't think a lot of people will have much use for this, but those are some things to keep in mind, that hey, some of these airlines, they have these programs, so if they have them, might as well use them. The the second point that I'm going to get into is actually when it comes to hotels. A lot of hotels, including the big chains like Marriott and IHG, Hilton, they'll have a lot of benefits, or not of benefits, but they'll have what's called either have military rates or government rates. It's usually the same thing, and it and with this, I mean, sometimes you could save, some I've seen sometimes $50 to $100 is usually the average that I've seen, but sometimes it could be even more than that. I have saved one time in last year when I went to Sequoia National Park in Fresno. I stayed in Fresno. I saved $125 per night. It was a 50% off discount if you're military. So I'm gonna go over really quickly how to do that and kind of how to search. Let's say if you're going through, let's say I'm just gonna use Marriott because that's my preferred um, hotel chain, and you want to do this directly with the hotel. You don't want to do this through a travel portal like Expedia or anything like that. If you go through those channels, you're never going to get discounts, and you're also never going to get status. So I always recommend just go through directly to the airline. So I'm just going to choose a kind of random location. I'm just going to choose Chicago. I'm just going to choose a random time as well, and make sure here in the drop down, you choose government and military. And keep in mind that sometimes I if you go overseas, you may actually find these rates as well for U.S. military. So it might actually save you money if you take a vacation outside the United States as well. So let's say this is one that I found earlier, and I'll show you the difference. So let's go with the Meridian. I'm just going to put the show rates with taxes and fees. And as you can see, even just right away, you're going to see all the rates with that are government and military, and also all the other rates. Uh, so this is this can be this can be substantial. One thing I always check, and I always recommend other people to check, is if the government rate uh, has a bad cancellation policy where you have to where it's all prepaid. I probably wouldn't recommend choosing it, because if you have to cancel them, you're not getting that money back. So at least with this, you get the opportunity to, like in this example, you can cancel up until one day uh, before arrival at the hotel, and see the other cheaper nights with prepaid, which is a terrible option. It's 203. This one is 174, including all taxes and fees as well. And but the more flexible rates are these here. So you got a pretty good savings here of almost $50 per night. And this is usually for if you're traveling on orders, but sometimes if you see if you look carefully, it is also for leisure travel. So you know it is a very very good benefit. I mean, if if these hotels have them, it's because they want you as a customer. So don't be afraid of using these rates. I mean, they're there for a reason. The third point that I wanted to go over in this video is a lot of, I would say, general travel attraction entry discounts. A lot of theme parks will have free entries to their theme parks, even in places like Orlando. Also here in Tampa Bay, we have Busch Gardens. So I'll start off with that one. In Busch Gardens, which is also part of the same company with SeaWorld and I forgot what the other one was, but SeaWorld and Busch Gardens really are the same. And Adventure Island. They have a yearly free pass for active military, where you can go to the park for free. And I remember, at least in the past, it has and they're with families. Here it doesn't really say how many how many dependents, but on in the past, I've known some people that have brought in up to three dependents for free. So these are tickets that are usually even in, like say 5 years ago, they were, $75. So now it's gonna be even more expensive. So that's a pretty big savings right then and there. So if you want to take the whole family out for, one day during the weekend, and have fun, and you can do this and save a lot of money, and put that instead towards maybe a nice dinner, or just save the money, or spend it how you wish. And it's not just limited to active duty. It's also for reservists and National Guard that can use this as well. Another big discount that I really like personally is the national parks. So all national parks in the United States, if you're in the military, you will get in for free, but you have to show them your military ID, and you have to let them know. So here, I went to the national park site, and you will actually find this is here as well. You have the If you go to the national parks and you show them your ID, they usually just give you this military annual pass. But there's also a military lifetime pass, which you can get online. But just keep in mind that, yeah, this can save you a lot of money, and this applies to whenever you go with usually your family. I've gone with my dad last year. I went to Yellowstone. Got in. Both of us got in for free because of my annual military pass. So this is a really nice perk. I think I love national parks. They're really beautiful, great hikes, and all accessible for free. But this is not just limited to these two examples. I've also seen attractions in New York City, for example. A lot of museums will offer military discounts, and even like the One World Trade Center. It's, I believe, last time was 50% off if you're military. So just let them know. Don't be afraid to ask. But again, these discounts are there for a reason. So don't be afraid to use them. And there is one final point, and this is probably one of the ones that can get you the biggest benefits and save you the most money out of all the benefits in this on this list. And this actually has to do with travel credit cards. I'm going to use this article from the Points Guy, because I think they usually cover most of these travel related questions pretty thoroughly, and they do I feel like a very good review of all these things. So one thing is that if you're active duty military, it has to be active duty. This one is kind of limited. It doesn't extend to reservists. It doesn't mean you can't get these cards, but it just means that you have to pay the annual fee just like everybody else. But if you're active duty, or you're on orders that are active duty orders, you can get even top credit cards, such as the Amex Platinum, the Chase Sapphire Reserve, and other credit cards, such as for hotels and airlines. A lot of these cards, they give you hotel and rental car status. In addition, I mean, they can also have a lot of regular benefits that you could use throughout the year. But of course, the best way to do this is so that they can uh, that you can actually save on travel costs. And in some ways, the best way is, if you're waived the annual fee if you're active duty. Let's say if you get the platinum card, which usually has anywhere from 80,000 to 100,000 welcome bonus points when you apply and get accepted for in the credit card application. This card will save you, could save you, over $1,000 in travel when it comes to flights. Also, because some of these cards give you hotel statuses. If you stay at a hotel and you have the status, you're looking at those free room upgrades that can save you a lot of money. You'll have free breakfast, and these are things that you can use on your own time. I'm not saying get the travel cards. Make sure that if you do, make sure you are actually looking to travel. Don't just get them just because, and make sure you also have a good credit. Make sure you don't carry a balance in these cards, because these cards sometimes have 20, almost 30% interest rates. So if you were to treat them like a debit card, where you pay off the balance every month, then I think you should be good. But otherwise, I still want to mention this one, because this could probably have the biggest benefit when it comes to to travel and just save you a lot of money. I personally I have some of these cards, not the platinum card, but I do have cards for both Hilton and Marriott, and I do have one more airline card as well that has saved me a lot of money, and as I'm able to rack up a lot of airline miles with this. So I've been able to save a lot of money on my personal travel that I like to do. As you can see here, it is just for active duty, like I said, and it also works for reservists and National Guards that are on orders, on active duty orders. So just bear in mind that that is the case. Well, there you have it. That was my list. Like I said, it was a small list, nothing too extensive, but I think hopefully this can help you save some money and enjoy travel. And it or just what I like to do, I always encourage people to travel. And a lot of people just don't know about this, whether they're in the military or not, and so they think that travel is just it's out of their reach. They just can't do it. I don't think that's the case. I think I think a lot more people can do it. They just don't want to do it. It does take a little bit of work, but I think it's very doable. Whether you're in the military, whether you're, for the most part, whatever career choice you have, I think you have a good chance of being able to do this. So if you find this video helpful, hit the like button and share with your friends if they might find it helpful. So, until next time.